Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51 Centre show about women reshaping our world. Coming up, how a new law protecting women from violence in Pakistan has infuriated ultra-religious groups. We also look at why no women writers have ever been on the literature curriculum for final year high school students in France. And a way out of poverty, how young schoolgirls in a Kenyan slum are being trained computer coding. But we begin in Pakistan, where a new law in the country's most populous province, which includes protection of women against violence, is now being contested by more than 35 religious groups. The hardline bodies, made up entirely of men, have urged the Punjab government to reverse the law, threatening protests if they don't. They claim it's un-Islamic and part of a Western conspiracy to destroy Pakistan's constitution.
A women's protection centre in Lahore. This is where Sadia has come to seek legal help. Pakistani women are slowly turning to divorce to escape abusive marriages, and Sadia's no exception. But now her husband is sending her threatening messages through their son. Sadia claims authorities have neglected her case. Instead, in a largely male-dominated society, they've been supporting her estranged husband, but there's still a glimpse of hope.
You must have seen the new law from this year, which ensures that even during marriage, your husband cannot subject you to violence. And if he does, you can get the police involved, and he'll have to leave.
The new bill, passed in February, aims to protect women from physical and psychological abuse. It also calls for women officers to be assigned duties in violence-prone cases. Reportedly, policemen routinely dismiss such complaints as family problems.
I feel men have greater access to the authorities, and that's why the police collude with them and don't protect women.
The woman behind this historic law, Asma Bukhari. For 14 years, she fought to ensure its passage, but today she's scrambling to defend the legislation deemed un-Islamic by Pakistan's powerful religious right.
This is a war of two different mindsets. One which chooses politics over the misery of women, uses religion as a tool for its politics. And the second group says that's enough. It's been 65 years since women are being oppressed, and nobody is willing to listen to them.
Asma and her party members make regular appearances on Pakistani national television, sparking heated debates. Increasingly, Asma and other women like her are seen as a rising threat to Pakistan's conservative forces. The law sets up helplines for women to register their complaints, as well as protection centres. It goes further to enforce an equal partnership between a husband and wife, which clerics say goes against Islamic family values. More than 35 religious groups have since come together to call on the Punjab government to withdraw the bill. In one of their most recent meetings, the Secretary-General of Pakistan's largest religious party claimed it was designed to suppress men at the hands of women.
This law is based on gender equality. Islam does talk of gender equality, but there can be no gender equality inside a home. Inside the house, the Quran says men are one step above women. Man is the custodian of the house. He is supposed to run the house. He is supposed to take care of the family and provide shelter for his woman.
Although these conservative groups don't enjoy a majority in the parliament, they wield an outsized influence in Pakistani society. To avoid violent protests, authorities have agreed to review the bill, leaving many women's rights activists worried about the fate of the landmark law.
Every day, at least 8 women get raped in Punjab. 2 to 3 women get murdered daily. So there are a lot of incidents, and we need special laws to fight this violence.
Activists have urged the Punjab government to stand its ground. They're also calling for a similar draft national policy aimed at eliminating gender violence across the country.
The government should quit this policy of retreat and appeasement. Allowing the religious parties to dictate without any thought given to what they're saying results in these clerics getting unprecedented powers. And then they hold the state hostage.
The Punjab government has privately assured women's activists the law will not be reversed. The question now is whether accepting a review of the legislation is already a defeat.
Now, here in the land of liberté, égalité and fraternité, it's been revealed that French literature students in their final year of school study only male writers. What's astonishing is that it is not surprising. In fact, no woman writer has ever figured on the curriculum, and that's why petitions now being sent to the government to get things changed, as Luke Schrago reports.
It's an eyebrow-raising issue for France's education sector. Every single novel selected for the literature curriculum in the final years of secondary school have been written by men, and it's not an isolated occurrence.
Depuis 20 ans que j'enseigne au lycée,
for the 20 years that I've been teaching, never have I come across a woman writer. I've told myself all these years that we need to tell someone that there's a real problem when it comes to developing these programs.
Françoise started a petition to revise the curriculum earlier in May. She garnered thousands of signatures in just a few hours, along with more than a few suggestions for a group so far widely underrepresented.
When you have eminent female writers like Yourcenar, Virginia Woolf or Colette, and more recent ones like Virginie Despentes and Dominique Bonnard, I find it inconceivable they're being overlooked.
Students too have started to take notice.
It's something that we don't fully realise. I've never asked myself the question either. Maybe it will make us aware that women also write beautiful things.
Other writers have a different explanation, pointing to historical inequalities when it comes to female authors, and have been asking if it really makes a difference.
When you're reading A Woman of 30 by Balzac, Madame Bovary, or A Life by Maupassant, you really understand women, and that's what's important. Perhaps it's not important to have women at all costs, but to try and evoke women's issues accurately, and I find that men do that brilliantly.
Either way, the government has taken notice of Françoise's petition. The French Education Ministry has promised it'll be working to reduce stereotyping within the school curriculum, with the committee in charge of it being encouraged to even out the balance.
And it's probably not the most likely location for computer coding classes, but in one of Nairobi's poorest slums, young girls are learning this skill in the hope it will help them escape a life of poverty.
Out with chalkboards and school books, and in with computers and coding. At this primary school in Kibera, a slum in the Kenyan capital, girls are preparing themselves for a future in IT.
I think it is important to learn about computers because sometimes maybe if you grow up you can be a person who usually uses computers and you don't know how to use the computer, and it will bring a big problem to you.
At their weekly code club, pupils learn how computers work with the help of kits donated by an NGO called Code Academy. The aim of the project is to tackle gender discrimination by giving these girls access to technology and hopefully access to jobs.
We are doing a lot of coding here with the girls, so that at the end of the day, when they'll be living here, they know at least a bit of what is the coding and what does the computer work. That's the nitty-gritties of the computer.
Kibera is the largest slum in Kenya. It's a dangerous place where cases of rape are common. For Kibera Girls' School head teacher, the after-school computer club is a way to keep pupils out of harm's way.
We do not like them to be so much out into the Kibera village, because otherwise they would engage into things that are not acceptable, or they would be abused, maybe child labor, the many abuses you would think of. So we would like that once we take a girl into our program, we keep her and make the space very safe for her learning.
Code clubs are being rolled out at schools across Kenya, Uganda and Senegal. Despite the challenges of poverty and discrimination, organisers hope they'll spark an ambition among these girls to become the computer scientists of the future.
And finally, the Twitter sphere in recent days has been full of speculation over who may replace British actor Daniel Craig as the iconic James Bond. This following rumours that he's had enough of the role. So while the world has been debating the merits of possible replacements, such as fellow Brits Idris Elba and Tom Hiddleston, another star has expressed a desire to be the next 007, and that's Gillian Anderson. The X-Files actor tweeted a mock-up poster of herself as the fictional spy, as well as a caption that reads, "It's Bond, Jane Bond," with the hashtag Next Bond. It remains to be seen if indeed Hollywood is ready for a female 007. And that's it for now. And if you'd like to comment on what you've just seen, you can head to our Facebook page, that's France24 51%, or do send us a tweet at _51%. Thanks for your feedback so far, and please do keep those comments coming in. So until our next program, bye for now.